Welcome to this video introducing Sevenstar and foreign language study, providing flexibility for our students. I'm Rod Kirby. I'm the Academic Dean at Cherokee Christian School. I've been in Christian education for 38 years. I've been at Cherokee Christian School the last 8 years. Let me tell you a little bit about our school, so that gives a little bit of background about what we're doing with our foreign language program. Our school is, we're in suburban Atlanta, Georgia, just northwest of Atlanta in Woodstock, Georgia. We're a K-12 school. We have 343 students, with 79 of those in high school currently. And we require, as part of our graduation requirements, 2 years of a foreign language. That's standard most places, but our graduation standards are particularly geared towards the Georgia university system. And so that requires 2 years of a foreign language. Typically, our students take those their foreign language study in their sophomore and junior years, although we have some tracks. We have one program for STEM students where they typically take their foreign languages in their junior and senior years, but typically it's the sophomores and juniors who are taking their foreign language studies. Now, what we taught previously, before we started using Sevenstar, previously we were just able to offer Spanish 1 and 2. We had a teacher who taught some other courses, but he taught Spanish as well, and so we offered Spanish 1 and 2. We weren't able to offer other languages. It was like, okay, your foreign language was Spanish, and that was it. And we had limited scheduling opportunities. When you've only got 79 students, it means you've only got maybe 30 or so of them at any one time, 30 to 40 of them taking a foreign language. And when you divide that between Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, it means you might only have one section of Spanish 1 and one of Spanish 2, or maybe 2 of one of those. But that means that you have scheduling problems. If the Spanish 1 section is offered at the same time as choir, then students have to choose whether they're going to take Spanish or choir, and since Spanish is required, then the choir program suffered because of it. We had those types of issues, so we had scheduling problems. It also gave us difficulties, like I say, with electives and with transfer students. If you have a student who transfers in, perhaps as a junior, who has not taken the first year of their foreign language when everybody else has, well, then we have to schedule them in Spanish 1, but that might conflict with a typical junior level course. So we had problems with that. So we started a program that we have named CCS Online Studies, Cherokee Christian School Online Studies. This began in the 2012-2013 school year. Since then, we have served over 100 students who have gone through or who are currently in our foreign language program. We have had students take Chinese, French, German, Latin, and Spanish over that time. Most of them still take Spanish, but we are having an increasing number, especially taking German and Latin. And like I say, we've had even a couple who have taken Chinese. Because Spanish is a required subject and we're offering online, that's the only way they can take it, we cover the costs for the students for their first and second year language studies. We don't feel like we could ask the students, okay, you have to pay tuition and now you got to pay extra for a class that you got to take, and we don't offer. So we cover those costs. We just budget that in. If students want to take a third year, then they pay for it because that's their choice. If they fail a course, like they fail first year Spanish or first year German and have to retake it, they have to cover the cost of that. We make that very plain. That's an incentive for them to pass, because then they have to pay for it if they have to take it again. But that's how we structure that. Now, some benefits of doing it in an online program like Sevenstar. For one thing, we have some budgetary savings. If I look just at this year, we have 20 students enrolled in the program at various levels, and all told, we are paying about $9,000 in tuition for those 20 students. Now you can see that if we were having to hire a Spanish teacher, that's significantly more. Okay, we're saving just the salary, which could be $50,000 or so, 40 to 50. We're saving that by just paying the $9,000. Now, I want to make it plain, though. I mean, that is a factor in our decision, but we don't tell parents, okay, we're doing this because we want to save money. Because then they say, well, that's a bad way to save money, is by getting rid of a teacher. But this is an effect of the program. Another benefit is that we are able to offer 5 foreign languages. I mean, there would be no way that we could hire teachers to teach 5 different languages. If we had to do that, finding a teacher who could even teach Chinese would be difficult. So we're able to offer the languages. It gives us a scheduling advantage. Now students can take their foreign language at any period of the day whenever there is a time slot that they're not taking some other class. It provides us with a lot of flexibility, whether it's dealing with electives, whether it's dealing with transfer students. We have that scheduling flexibility now for them. Students can now take a 3rd year of a language if they want to. Like I say, that's at their own expense, but they're able to do that if they choose to do so. Some students want to go to colleges that expect a 3rd year of a foreign language. They can do that now. Previously they couldn't. We just didn't offer that. So those are some of the benefits that we see to the online program. So how does this program work? How do we structure it? Well, the way we do this is that towards the end of the freshman year, or the sophomore year if they're in the STEM program, towards the end of that year we have the students select a foreign language. We give them a form that they fill out. Their parents have to sign it. They decide which language they want to take. They also have to get input from our school counselor, because she can say, if you're going into this area of study, here's the language you should take. So she has to sign off on that as well. And like I say, we give a listing that compares the languages to say, well, German is easier at this, it's harder at this, because typically students think, oh, Spanish is the easiest language. Turns out that it's easy in some areas and difficult in some ways. So we want students to be able to compare that. So they select their language. They also can choose a pace that they want to do the course at. We give them 3 options for the pace that they want to finish the course at. This, by the way, is another advantage of the online program. One pace is an accelerated pace, and we have some students who do this. They start the course in the summer before their sophomore year. They finish the first year of their language at Christmas. So they're going from like June till December, and they do their first year of the language. Then they start their second year language in January and finish the following summer, the summer after their sophomore year. In essence, they're taking 2 years of a foreign language in 1 academic year. So that's an accelerated pace, and we have students who do that and have done very well with that. Then students can take just the normal pace. They take both years during the regular school year, just August to May for first year, and then the next August to May for the second year. Most of our students follow this track. We have some students, though, who take an extended track. They might like to spread it out a little bit more. So we allow them, okay, they can start their course the summer before their sophomore year and finish it in May of their sophomore year, and then go ahead and start their second year course in June of right after their sophomore year and finish it in May of their junior year. It just gives them a few months extra to spread the material out. So these are the options we have. Like I say, most of the students choose the normal option. Others choose the accelerated option. We have one student this year doing that extended program. And then our students are scheduled into their available daily class period. I mean, it shows up in their schedule. Here is a period when they are to be working on their foreign language. And they go into a designated study hall location, a specific room where they would be working along with students who are just in a plain study hall. Now, let me mention here, we are a BYOD school, bring your own device. So all of our students have their own computers. Most of them have laptops, some of them have tablets, but they all have those, so we don't need to have a designated computer lab for them to do their foreign language studies. They typically use their own computers. We have a few computers available in our media center if they need that, and we have one area in a small room set up for them to be able to record, to do their voice recordings privately, where they can do that if they choose. But typically they're using their own computers for these. Now, how do we monitor the students? Well, like I say, they are in a study hall, and there's a study hall monitor. Now, what the study hall monitor does, all they are responsible for is to be sure that the students are quiet, and that's it. That the study hall monitor, we're not expecting them to go around to every student and to see, okay, what lesson are you working on? Are you working on your lesson? Are you doing this? Their responsibility is to have the room quiet so that students can study, so that students can do their foreign language. But it's up to the student to say, okay, I'm going to use my time for this, or I might use it for a different subject. But that's the responsibility of the study hall monitor. We give the parents access so that they can check up on the grades of the students. They have a password so they can log in to Maestro and see what the grades are for the students. And then I am the partner coordinator. I do more detailed monitoring. Generally once a week I go through the program and go through the observer account, look and see which students are ahead of pace, which students are behind pace, and then I touch base with them. I remind them, I send them emails, which their parents also get, and I answer questions. If they're having problems with something or need to know how to do something, I help them with that. Now, what about the student experience? What are they getting out of this? Well, for one thing, it is an adjustment for students to do a program like this. You see, all of a sudden now they have to be involved in active learning. They are used to sitting passively in a class and waiting for the teacher to tell them what to do, when to do it, waiting for the teacher to answer their questions, waiting for the teacher to review things with them. Now they have to do that on their own, and it takes some time of adjustment for them to learn, you know, I need to go back to the lessons, I need to see what I need to review, I need to do these things, I don't understand this, I need to find the answers. It's an adjustment for them. It's also an adjustment that because there's no daily accountability. In a typical class, you have homework every day and you show up and you have to do it. In this class, you skip a day, there's no consequence. You skip 2 days, there's no consequence immediately. Now, it starts building up and they get behind and then they start getting penalized at a certain point, but it takes students some time to realize, you know, I have to treat this like a regular class and do my work every day. So that's an adjustment for the students. But they do like the flexibility that the program offers. I mean, they're able to finish the course early if they want to. I mentioned the accelerated pace. We have students who work at an even more accelerated pace within the limits of the program. So that they can finish up their course early and then they're done with it. They can use that time for other subjects. They're able to work over breaks or on the weekends or whenever they can be working on their studies. They like that flexibility. Now some results. We just this past school year administered a test The ACTFL, which stands for the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages, the ACTFL has a test called the Assessment of Performance Toward Proficiency in Languages, or AAPPL, and there's the website that you can go to find out more information about it. This is somewhat of a standardized test in foreign languages. It doesn't cover Latin, it's dealing with the modern languages. But the students took this test just so we could see, okay, how well are they learning the languages? And we gave them the interpretive reading, interpretive listening tests. That is, they were given passages to read and they had to answer questions. They had things they had to listen to and answer questions on it. The AAPPL also has a writing test and a speaking test. We didn't go into those. We were just concerned, can they read and can they listen to the language? We found that typically our students after the first year scored at the high novice level. There's 3 levels on the test. A high novice level, which is about what we would expect, and the second year students scored in the mid to high intermediate. So that's just 1 year of experience. We're looking forward to doing that again this next year and start tracking the progress. But we have seen those results from the students. Now, some suggestions if you want to implement a program like this just based on our experience, just in addition to things I've already mentioned. I think it's helpful if you have some on-site tutors. We are working on getting that started here. One of our history teachers actually has a minor in German, and so he is already meeting with our German students regularly to answer their questions personally, to help them out with their work. We're looking at doing the same thing with Spanish and with other languages as we're available. So these on-site tutors would be there just to give more of the personal, one-on-one help. I think this would be good for the students. Also, as we move forward, I want to spend even more time with our students at the beginning of the school year, getting them into the pace, showing them, just sitting down with them, working them through how do you submit a voice recording, how do you submit assignments, how do you check your grades, those types of things. We need to do more with that right at the beginning of the year. So those are just a couple of suggestions. Now, I think that the Sevenstar program at the Online Foreign Languages is a great way to expand our foreign language offerings and to deal with the schedule problems, especially in smaller schools like ours. If you're in a large high school, there's not as much of a scheduling issue. But in small schools, it does become a problem, and I think the online situation is a great way to address it. My email address is on the screen. Feel free to contact me with any questions that you would have, and I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for your time.